what is the essence of this camp?
Actually, it's Wonder Champions.
Wonder.
Wonder
Champions
Academy.
East Africa. Yes.
Yeah. So in this, we are working on building the kids' fundamentals, teaching them the game at an early age.
Yes.
That's what we thought of doing to help kids learn the fundamentals of the basketball game at a tender age.
Yes.
Other than that, we're also trying to teach them life skills that would help them live and be resourceful people in the society.
Very good. And that's why, of course, we have Silalei here. Silalei, you understand this program, you've been through this program, and of course, it's both for boys and girls. And we also want to ensure that girls appreciate sport. Mademu wengi wapendangi sport sana. But of course, through this kind of programs, Madame, at least Christmas, wasishangai hana plot. Of course, you've been through this, you understand this. How beneficial has it been to the ladies, you being inclusive, and these other ones that, of course, you interacted with?
I mean, obviously, it's very beneficial. I'm happy that, contrary to what you've actually said, more girls are interested in sports, and now there are people who are creating opportunities for them to actually play, and our African parents are allowing the girls to actually play. I think girls, between boys and girls, there should not be any differentiation. They're both young people. Yes. It's something enjoyable they can do, like you said, in the December holidays, and it's about growing the game of basketball on the continent.
This game has taken you. I'm sure you've played in different teams for different places and stuff. Where have you been? So at least it can be motivation for someone to hear it from you. You know, they normally hear saying, oh, so and so was here, but if they hear it from the horse's mouth, if you allow me to call you out.
I think you already did. So I've allowed you to call me a horse. I mean, basketball has created so many opportunities for me. I've played basketball in college in the States. With the national team alone, I've traveled West Africa, East Africa, Northern Africa, Southern Africa, and that's just with the national team alone, not even with my club team. So really, I've had so many opportunities to be exposed to other countries, to be exposed to other international players. And without basketball in my life, I think I'd be a very different person. Very
true. And of course, coaches, you have a lot on your plate. Wewe uko na timu yako ya USIU, wewe ni director wa Wonders Champions Academy, wewe ni uko na familia, wewe una marafiki kaa sisi. How do you juggle all these things and convince parents to let their child come to a very busy body like you?
Of course, everything is organization, and that's one of the things that we try and do well, try and get things organized and put time for everything. Like, we'll be running this camp from 8:30 to actually 12:30, and then girls, by right? At State House Girls, and by 1 we should be out of that place. We're giving the parents 30 minutes to come and pick back their kids, and in the afternoon I got to do some other things as well. Yes. And then come evening I have to spend time home with family.
So you've juggled well.
Including my dog.
Yeah, coach amesema na pet yake ni dog. Yeah, that's something I didn't know about you, but that's good. Now, these ages between 7 and 18, why 7 and 18? Why not 20 and 22? When we want to see what we're 20 and 22, where is the training camp?
And in future, actually, we're going to move it to 16 and below, because we want to focus so much on building the right fundamentals right from the grassroots. Many times we've had some players be able to even go abroad, but then the only attraction they are having is their size. That's what the people look at. However, we are looking at now trying to develop their skills so that they're able to know the fundamentals of the game, also be able to understand the game at a tender age. Yes. And then we are able to help them get to other places, either in schools within, clubs within, and also abroad.
Yes. Asilele, do you train in basketball? Because you look like you are wewe ni trainer too. I'm sure you've gone to schools or people have asked you to train too. Now that you've gotten all this wealth of knowledge, because you have vast knowledge in basketball, I'm sure, in and out of the country.
I've actually never trained in an official capacity. This is actually going to be my first time with Coach Cliff, who I respect very much, and who was actually my coach during one of our national team assignments. But I'm very passionate about the game, and any opportunity really to just pass on that passion and allow other kids to get the kind of opportunities I've had, I think it's one to jump on. So I'm very excited about this camp. I think it's the beginning of something great for Kenyan basketball. As Coach Cliff said, you have to start with the kids at a young age if you want them to do great things with the sports. You know, the likes of Joel Embiid, Pascal Siakam, these are guys who are great in the NBA, but they actually started playing basketball when they were in their late teenagers. Some of them even started, I think, in their 20s, Pascal Siakam. So if you start at an earlier age, just how farther would we be? Just how much more could our young Kenyan basketball players do in the basketball space? So it's a very exciting time.
Very true. My director, you have now, of course, Coach was able to send me some of his players that he's interacted with. And yes, and let's listen into one of them who was able to share the experience of having gone through such camps and being trained and where they are right now. Listen to this.
Afternoon campus. I'm excited to hear you guys about to work out with one of the most established coaches in Kenya, Coach Cliff Wall. My name is Tyler Ongwai, and I'm a member of the Kenyan national team, famously called the Morans. Well, I'm happy to hear that you guys have a camp coming up, and I just want to wish you all the best as you work with our coach, Coach Cliff Wall. And I'm very sure you guys are going to learn a lot of important things about basketball, the dribbling, the shooting, and the most important thing, how to take the game. Wish you all the best, and make sure you guys learn or get a few things from Coach Cliff. He'll really help you guys. And at the end of the day, I'd like to see you guys in the future playing.
Coach, who is that? Where was he? Na amekusifia sana. Ulimpatia nini?
That's Taylor Ungwai. Taylor is actually the assistant captain of the Kenyan national team, and currently is in Denmark, and we were just talking, and he wanted to encourage the campers because he's playing pro in Denmark, and he's one of our best players. Actually, he was the topmost scorer in the African Championship. So these are the skills we want to harness at a tender age so that we are able to have more Tyler Ongwais in Kenya. And one of our dream with this initiative, eventually 10 years down the line, we want to see one of us playing the NBA from this program. Yeah.
Is that possible, Silale? You've been to the United States. You've seen, of course, the level of basketball that the likes of Kina LeBron and those other top NBA players. Do we have that capability to take the likes of Kina Gondu and Ariel to play basketball? Or how long do we need to give ourselves? Or we need to start with this kind of wonders camp before we get there?
I mean, absolutely it begins with these kinds of camps, working with these kids at a young age. For a long time, I believe the Kenyans, we didn't necessarily have the height and the size to take it all the way to the NBA. And when we have the height, we're just too skinny. But now if you look at Ronnie Gundo, he's a big guy, and he's also tall. If you look at other players who are currently playing college basketball in the States from Kenya, they're big and they're tall.
What do they eat in the States? Is that GMO?
It's the air. They're like calories as they breathe, they gain weight.
Anyway, yeah, what does it
So you see, now we have the physicality to be potential NBA players. Now what comes next? The development of the game. So which is why camps like the Wonders Champions Academy will help kids learn the fundamentals early. Then from there, they can go to other camps like the NBA Academy, which now grooms players to actually be channeled directly into top schools and in the NBA. So I absolutely believe it will take some time. I'm not going to give us false hopes. It will take some time. But I say within the next 10, 15 years, we have a very good chance of having a player in the NBA.
Very true. And for this camp, coach, what are the expenses? What is the damage? At the end of the day, people are asking what's the damage, and how can they get in touch with you? How can they register their kids? How is the process? Do you have a physical office? Ama watu tu wakuvutie nangos. Kuvutia waya.
As at now, we have the contacts on there are flyers that we sent out on social media.
Yeah, which
But
social
otherwise, they can still, we can give them our numbers here.
which social media is better? Namba
Yeah.
utapigiwa simu mpaka na mama wangu.
And then there is a pay bill number they're able to register, and then we get their details. When they come, we'll want to get them to register, fill the form, tell us if some of the medical issues they might be having,
Yeah, true.
so that we gauge and weigh how we are able to, we are able to push them.
Very true.
But we also thankful that we'll be having an ambulance there in case of any
emergency.
thank you so much to Renko that have chipped in to really support the whole of this process.
So we can find you on Facebook. You're my friend on Facebook, Cliff Award.
Yes.
So if they go, but you see there are many Cliff Awards on
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah.
So you're
But there's also Wanda Champions Academy.
Wanda
Yeah.
Champions Academy.
Yeah.
You're on Facebook?
Yeah, it's a page on FB.
On FB.
Yeah.
Wanda's
And we're also on Instagram.
exactly, also on Instagram.
Yeah.
Sasa mnajua, you know of course where to go. Go to those social media platforms and repeat it. Wanda's
Champions
Academy.
Yeah.
Wanda Champions Academy on social media. Please go check there, go ask questions. They will respond immediately. That's of course how they ended up on this particular show, because they responded on social media. Any queries, I'm sure everything, life skills, there'll be everything, as in unafunzwa basketball, unafunzwa venye inafaa unafanya homework, because sasa najua umesahau hata homework inafanywa aje. But of course with this kind of a camp with Silalei huko hivyo wakikufunza all these things and giving you the experience, definitely it will be very beneficial to you, so that you don't end up just watching PlayStation and watching movies and doing a lot of nothing this Christmas. We have a camp from the 2nd to the 13th at State House, girls. Ndio? Imagine uko State House karibu na president. House. Thank you so much, Clifford Award, of course, coach, head coach of the Morans, coach for USIU Africa, director of Wonders Champions Academy. Silalei, thank you so much for making time to come over here. She is, of course, a product of basketball. She has been in and out of the country playing basketball, and it's very beneficial. Ladies and gentlemen, release your boys and girls 7 to 18 years to go and play basketball as State House girls from the 2nd to the 13th at State House. So ende utafute hiyo form, fill, utapata Cliff Award huko. Ni venye tu sisi hatuna watoto wa 7 years, lakini tungepeleka huko. This of course is K24 Sports Hub. We appreciate of course